Kelly Ripa and Mark Consuelos are sharing why they are so glad their proposal happened before social media. People don't just propose anymore. They propose for social media, Ripa, 55, explained during the March 20th episode of Live with Kelly and Mark. The longtime couple and TV co-hosts went on to reminisce about the moment they decided they wanted to marry each other. "I remember our proposal," Consuelos, 54, said, before Ripa interjected, "Well, was it a proposal? It was more of an idea. You were like, 'We have the day off from work tomorrow. Should we get married tomorrow?'" Consuelos then chimed in, "And you said, 'Ask me when you're serious.' And I said, 'I'm dead serious.'" He went on to declare that he's so glad we didn't have Instagram and that stuff back then, adding that proposals for social media are so annoying. The longtime couple met in 1995 when Consuelos filmed a screen test with Ripa for All My Children. The two had instant chemistry, and Consuelos landed the job of playing Ripa's love interest in the daytime drama. Their working relationship soon turned romantic. Never miss a story. Sign up for People's free daily newsletter to stay up to date with the best of what people have to offer, from celebrity news to compelling human interest stories. Consuelos spontaneously proposed the idea of marriage to Ripa on April 30th, 1996. The very next day, they jetted off to Las Vegas to elope at the Chapel of the Bells. The couple went on to welcome their 3 children, sons Michael, 28, and Joaquin, 23, and daughter Lola, 24. $179 for a wedding, including airfare, because we had miles and we had a canceled trip or something, but $179 in total. Total, with everything, she said at the time, adding that if she and Consuelos had to endure a large wedding, the planning and the seating charts and the venue, we would not have made it. In February 2024, the co-hosts celebrated 28 years of marriage by recreating their Vegas nuptials at the very same chapel. Ripa shared a photo on Instagram of the ceremony alongside a throwback shot of their 1996 wedding. She captioned the post, "Viva Las Vegas, then, now." Ripa also told people at the time, "We cherish those memories of our original wedding. To this day, it's been 28 years, and we still can remember every minute of that wedding. And it was really minutes. It was like 2 minutes." There was a time before everything had to be documented, before every milestone needed a filter, before love became content. And in that quieter, more private world, Kelly Ripa and Mark Consuelos fell in love. Chapter 1. Before the cameras. The set of All My Children buzzed with its usual chaos in 1995, crew members moving quickly, scripts being rehearsed, cameras adjusting to capture just the right angle. Kelly stood off to the side, flipping through her lines, when she noticed him. Mark. There was something about him. Confidence, yes, but also something softer, something real. When they were called together for a screen test, the chemistry was instant, electric, effortless, unavoidable. "Let's try that again," a producer said. But they didn't need to. Everyone in the room already knew. Chapter 2. A Love That Moved Fast. What started as a professional partnership quickly turned into something more. Late-night conversations, shared laughter between takes, a connection that neither of them could ignore. Within months, they were inseparable. And yet there was no grand announcement, no carefully curated reveal, just 2 people falling. Chapter 3. The Proposal That Wasn't. It wasn't planned, it wasn't staged, it wasn't even technically a proposal. It was April 30th, 1996. They had the day off coming up. Mark looked at Kelly casually, almost like he was suggesting dinner. "We have the day off from work tomorrow. Should we get married tomorrow?" Consuelos then chimed in, "And you said, 'Ask me when you're serious.' And I said, 'I'm dead serious.'" He went on to declare that he's so glad we didn't have Instagram and that stuff back then, adding that proposals for social media are so annoying. Chapter 4. Las Vegas, No Filters. The next day they were on a plane. Destination, Las Vegas. No hashtags, no followers, no expectations, just them. They arrived at the Chapel of the Bells, a small venue that didn't promise grandeur but offered something far more valuable: simplicity. The ceremony was quick, minutes really, but every second mattered, every word, every glance, every heartbeat. $179, Kelly would later laugh. That's what our wedding cost, everything included. It wasn't extravagant, it wasn't perfect, but it was theirs. Chapter 5, A Life Built Together. Years passed, careers evolved, and their family grew. 3 children, Michael, Lola, and Joaquin, became the center of their world. Through it all, Kelly and Mark remained the same at their core, playful, honest.
They didn't need grand gestures to prove their love. It was in the everyday moments, the quiet ones, the real ones. Chapter 6, A Different World. Fast forward to today. The world had changed. Everything was shared, everything was posted, everything was watched. On an episode of Live with Kelly and Mark, the couple found themselves reflecting on their past. People don't just propose anymore, Kelly said. They propose for social media. Mark nodded. I'm so glad we didn't have Instagram back then. There was something almost sacred about the way they said it. Not judgmental, just grateful. Chapter 7, What Could Have Been. Kelly leaned back in her chair, thinking. What if we had to plan a big wedding, she asked. Mark laughed. We wouldn't have made it. And maybe that was true, because their love wasn't built on spectacle. It wasn't built on perfection. It was built on instinct, on spontaneity, on choosing each other again and again. Chapter 8, Returning to Where It Began. In 2024, they went back, the Chapel of the Bells, the same place where it all started. Standing there again, side by side, they recreated their wedding. Same smiles, same connection, different time. Do you feel it? Kelly asked him. Mark paused, then grinned. I started getting sweaty. She laughed. Some things never change. Chapter 9, The Secret to Their Love. People often ask what makes their relationship work. Is it trust, communication, timing? Maybe it's all of those things. Or maybe it's something simpler. They never performed for the world. They never needed validation from an audience. Their love existed before the likes, before the comments, before the pressure. And because of that, it endured. Chapter 10, Love Without an Audience. Back on set, years later, the cameras rolled as they shared another story, another laugh. To the viewers, it was entertaining, charming, relatable. But beneath it all was something deeper, a reminder that love doesn't need to be perfect. It doesn't need to be posted. It just needs to be real. Epilogue, a moment that lasted forever. Somewhere in Las Vegas, the Chapel of the Bells still stands. Couples come and go, some chasing dreams, some chasing moments. But for Kelly and Mark, it was never about the moment. It was about what came after. A lifetime built on a simple question. Should we get married tomorrow? And a simple answer.